Hello, viewers. This is Dr. Qamar Cheema, and viewers, today I have an honor to have with me Dr. Stephen Kodela. He heads Hind Seidel Foundation, who in Pakistan. Thank you very much, Dr. Stephen, for your time.
Thank you for having me. I was looking forward to this show online.
So, Dr. Stephen, since we understand that Hind Seidel Foundation is a German foundation which is working in Pakistan, in India, and many countries in the world. First of all, would you like to explain to our viewers that what is HSF and why Hind Seidel Foundation is in different parts of the world?
Yeah, well, thank you. That's a great question to start with. So Hans Seidel Foundation is a German political foundation which is affiliated to one of the German political parties, namely the Christian Social Union in Bavaria. And it is one of three foundations which is currently working in Pakistan. It was founded in 1967. And since then, it has been very engaged in democratic and civil education. And basically, Hans Seidel Foundation believes in an idea of man which includes the free development of personality, personal responsibility, but also social responsibility and solidarity. And as a German political foundation, it is funded by the German Federal Parliament to promote democracy worldwide. So all political foundations intend to strengthen and stabilize democracy, and they all work in Germany, and all of them, I think, or most of them also internationally through political education, so-called political education, which is basically democratic education.
Thank you very much for letting us explain that. How do you see this? What kind of a work HSF is doing worldwide? Now, coming to this Pakistan chapter, which you are heading, and we have seen that Hind Seidel Foundation is working with the state institutions, with the Parliament of Pakistan, even at times, with the universities in Pakistan, with the students. So, can you just explain us? Your work that what is HSF doing in Pakistan, and what are you working at? What are the areas where you are working, and you believe that there has been some marked improvement in those areas? Would you like to please explain us to our viewers?
Yeah, so HSF needs to define its so-called focus areas every 3 years, and currently our focus areas are, first of all, constitutional structures in Pakistan. Then second, the dialogue between multipliers within the South Asia region. And third, the dialogue between multipliers from South Asia and from Germany or Europe. And last but not least, the understanding of so-called non-traditional security challenges. These are security challenges which are of national importance, or also regional and international importance, but they are not of any military origin. And our goal here is to make policy makers, to empower them to make better decisions, to point out specific issues, or readjust existing policies in terms of non-traditional security challenges. And we have been very active in Pakistan. We are the oldest German political foundation working here. We started working in Pakistan in 1983. And since then, we have been very active here. And at the moment, our stakeholders include a very wide range of people. We work with government institutions such as ministries or the parliament, but also with like civil society organizations or universities or think tanks, for instance.
So, Dr. Stephen, what I want to ask you further in our discussion is that what are you focusing most? Because most recently we have seen that HSF was also working for Afghanistan as well, for maybe for a dialogue, for track 2. Are you working something? Because we came to know, we met the HSF India's head as well, most recently in a conference that was organized by HSF. So are you working somewhere between connecting the way you're working in the past, track two dialogues between Pakistan and Afghanistan? So are you working, still
Yeah.
working in Afghanistan, or do you believe that now the focus has shifted to, like, let's say, broader South Asian region? So can you explain us in that context, please?
Well, I think to answer this question, I first need to explain why German political foundations work abroad at all. No, that is basically the underlying question, because we are German institutions which are active in other countries such as Pakistan, and the question is why are you here at all, right? So our idea is that we understand that we are living in a globalized and multilateral world, and in fact, the more people and governments interact with each other, the more they need to work together in a responsible manner and to create some kind of network, a lasting network. And also, we are a non-governmental organization, the Hans Seidel Foundation, even though we are 100% funded by the German parliament. So the German political foundations have the possibility to deal with social and political issues worldwide at the most immediate and local level, and that is with the citizens. And that is why we are also engaged in like with civil society organizations. And the reason for working regionally is, of course, that since things are connected, we cannot look at problems in an isolated manner. So to understand the problem, you need to understand what causes the problem and what other problems are being caused by the problem. And if you understand that, then you can find a proper solution to the problem. So not many issues actually globally, such as climate change, for instance, or but many such issues are very big regional issues. There are also specific regional issues which need to be addressed on a regional level. That would be, for instance, water management, right? Or some other non-traditional security challenges. And for us, understanding that things are connected means that we also try to work in a connected way and approach regional issues from a regional point of view. And because of that, we are also engaged on Afghanistan. So at the moment, we are supporting Afghan refugee students who are officially registered as refugees in Pakistan. And we support them with a scholarship project, with a scholarship program. And they will all receive funding on a monthly basis and training in the field of social cohesion, democracy, but also in the field of professional training, right? And yeah, and that is actually what we are doing right now with regards to Pakistan-Afghanistan relations. In addition to that, we are also in the process of preparing other bilateral or regional events, which will include Afghan stakeholders. But at the moment, our work with Afghan people mostly focuses on supporting registered Afghan refugee students who are living in Pakistan.
So, Dr. Stephen, we have also seen that some of your work has been promoting federalism in Pakistan and in India as well. HSF India is doing that work. So, how will you explain your work as far as promoting federalism in Pakistan or promoting decentralization? So, what kind of programs were you running with the universities or with the Parliament of Pakistan? Because although we have a democracy in Pakistan, but still this is a fledgling democracy. It's taking baby steps towards reaching a more mature democracy. So how do you see this program of federalism was working? And do you think that there are some results which you have gathered out of that exercise?
Well, you see, I wouldn't call it federalism. I would call it more like broader good governance area. But you are right. This includes the federal structures indeed. And the federal structures of Pakistan are highly influenced by the 18th constitutional amendment, which basically reformed Pakistan's structure of governance in the year 2010. And we tried to support our partners to strengthen these structures and to better understand what they mean and how that can be implemented in terms of democratic devolution. So this whole focus area includes supporting the parliamentary work in terms of training, then legislative capacity building. Then we try to train future and young politicians. So we have the so-called Political Cadre Development Program, the PCDP, in which we have been very active with this program in the province of Sindh, and now we have extended it to the province of Punjab as well, and we want to do it nationwide soon. And I mean, here the idea is that no matter which party you belong to, so like it's like a cross-party activity, we support you in terms of understanding your rights, but also your duties as a grassroots level political worker or a political activist. And in addition to that, we also did a lot of academic work in the field of federalism, or in the field of democratic devolution, which includes like lecture series, seminars, conferences, and we financed many publications on that as well. And of course, last but not least, we have the so-called model CCI, which is a simulation of the Council of Common Interests. And here the idea is that we teach students that actually most how should I put this? Most games which are being played in social settings of today are not games in which one person loses and the other person wins, right? So that having a winner means that someone else is losing everything. In fact, reality is different. Most games which we play are actually cooperative in the sense that if people work together, then they can increase the pie which they will share afterwards. And by increasing the pie, everyone gets more out of it. So the simulation of the Council of Common Interest, the model CCI, that has precisely this goal that we train young people to better understand the constitutional structures of Pakistan, but also to better understand the value of cooperation and dialogue, and of finding mutually beneficial solutions to problems.
Well, Dr. Stephen, that is obviously a wonderful exercise so that actually the youth could understand the structure, the constitutional structure, which empowers each citizen through this framework which has come from the parliament. Well, moving forward, I am left with a couple of questions. Dr. Stephen, what do you see that since you have had dialogues with Pakistan and Afghanistan, does HSF India or Pakistan or your HSF in Germany has any plan for a dialogue between the youth of India and Pakistan? Because the youth on both sides in India and Pakistan, they are vibrant, they are motivated, dedicated, and they really want to engage. So do you think since the cooperation or the dialogue has been at the senior level, most recently we had an experience of that. So do you think that any such idea or anything is possible under the platform of the HSF?
Yeah, I think we must stay in constant exchange with Afghanistan, and Afghanistan's future are its youth, right? So yeah, we are in the process of planning events, mostly of diaspora Afghans who are, for instance, living in Pakistan, but also living outside of Pakistan, and to connect them and better train them and to try to have a positive impact on the whole region. We are currently not working in Afghanistan as such because that's unfortunately difficult due to the political situation there, but we are still trying our best to support the Afghan people and to work on regional stability, including Afghanistan.
Hmm. Okay, so one last and final question from Dr. Stephen is from you, that how much you are satisfied from your work which you have done over the period of time since you chose Pakistan as a country for
Mm.
since and it's been decades the HSF is working in Pakistan. So how far do you understand that your goals have been achieved? In promoting democracy, in promoting, in making students, in people understand constitutional system, constitutional structure. Uh,
Mm.
what the goals which you have set? Do you believe that the youth, the parliamentarians, or the system at large has actually been positively
Mm.
supported by HSF?
Yeah, I do think so. Otherwise, I wouldn't do this job. But it's of course the case that our goals are usually very ambitious and big and high. So to say that we have achieved all of our goals would of course be a little bit maybe over self-confident, or I think that would be also maybe not exactly true, because there are a lot of challenges in the everyday work. Like now we have just had the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, it's still kind of ongoing, but it has slowed down a lot. And a lot of our work, which we had planned and which we wanted to do and we were looking forward to do it, which we couldn't do it. And we had to then hold online events and or cancel the events or postpone them to a later date. So we have big goals, and I'm proud to say that we have achieved a lot. I think we have strengthened the constitutional structures in Pakistan. I think we have supported junior or young politicians and young stakeholders. We have created more awareness about the so-called non-traditional security challenges. And we have had dialogue events with a regional focus. For instance, an event on water with ISSI, which is basically the main think tank of the Pakistani Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So there are success stories, but there are also challenges. I mean, the regional dialogue is always a big challenge because it includes so many stakeholders with very different interests and agendas, and to get them all together, that can be difficult. Yeah, but we are still working on that, and we have more plans, and there are more activities to come. But otherwise, I think I'm happy with what we have achieved so far, and I'm also very happy with actually living in Pakistan and being part of the society here, and because I appreciate the culture here and the people, and I have many friends here, and I think it's a great place to be, and I'm actually glad to contribute to make Pakistan's democracy even stronger and more efficient.
Thank you very much, Dr. Stephen Kudala, for your work, what you are doing here, and the time, energy, effort, and above all, the resources I believe HSF is putting in Pakistan for the peace, development, and for the understanding of democracy and constitutionalism in Pakistan. Thank you very much for that, and thank
Thank
you
you.
for your time for today's show. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cheema. Thank you for
Thank
having me.